Dear students, in this video we are going to see the various IC engine components along with their materials. An internal combustion engine IC engine is the engine in which combustion, that is burning of fuel, takes place inside the cylinder of the engine. By burning of the fuel, high temperature and pressure force generates. This pressure force used to move the vehicle or rotate wheels by use of some mechanism. In an engine, many parts work together and achieve the goal of converting chemical energy of fuel into mechanical energy. These parts are bolted together and a combination of all these parts is known as engine. Okay, the first one is cylinder block. It is a container fitted with a piston where the fuel is burnt and the power is produced. Cylinder is the main body of IC engine. Cylinder is a part in which the intake of fuel, compression of fuel and the burning of fuel takes place. The main function of cylinder is to guide the piston. This is the cylinder. So in this figure it is shown 6-cylinder engine in which 6 pistons are going to move in to and fro motion. So for cooling of cylinder, a water jackets, this water jackets are present or fins are situated at the outside of the cylinder. If it is in case of a water jacket, for liquid cooling used in most of the cars, or in case of fin for air cooling used in most of the bikes. At the upper end of the cylinder head, and at the bottom end crankcase. This is the bottom end where crankcase is bolted. The material used to manufacture this kind of cylinder blocks are most probably cast iron low carbon steel. It must be a ductile material, and the manufacturing method may be casting, forging, and after that heat transfer machining. So next one is cylinder head. So one end of the cylinder is closed by means of cylinder head. This consists of inlet valve for admitting air fuel mixture and exhaust valve for removing the products of combustion. The inlet valve, exhaust valve, spark plug, injector, etc. are bolted on the cylinder head. The main function of the cylinder head is to seal the cylinder block and not to permit entry and exit of gases on cover head valve engine. The material may be aluminum alloy and the manufacturing method is casting. So next one is piston. So piston is used to reciprocate inside the cylinder. It transmits the energy to crankshaft through connecting rod. So the connecting rod will be placed in this cap, that is inside the cap. So this is the connecting rod shaft, this is the piston skirt, and this one is piston crown. This hole is provided to connect it with that wrist pin. Okay. Next one is piston rings. So these are used to maintain a pressure tight seal between the piston and the cylinder walls, and also it transfers the heat from piston head to the cylinder walls. So these rings are fitted in grooves. This may be an oil ring or compression ring, which are fitted in the cut in the piston. So they are split at one end. So this is the split at one end, so they can expand or spill over the end of the piston. And the material may be cast iron of fine grain and high elastic material. And the manufacturing method may be pot casting method. Next one is connecting rod. So one end of the connecting rod is connected to the piston through piston pin, while the other end is connected to the crank through crank pin. So this connecting rod is used to transmit the reciprocating motion of the piston to the rotary crank. There are two ends of the connecting rod. One is known as bigger end and another one is smaller end. So the bigger end is connected to the crankshaft and the small end is connected to the piston by use of piston pin. So low carbon steel 30C8 material may be used to manufacture by means of forging and after that heat treatment process. So this is the connecting rod. So next one is crankshaft. The function of the crankshaft is to transform reciprocating motion into a rotary motion. The crankshaft of an internal combustion engine receives the efforts or thrust supplied by piston to the connecting rod and converts the reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the crankshaft. The crankshaft mounts in bearings so it can rotate freely. So this end will be fixed with the bearings. The crankshaft, the shape and the size of the crankshaft depends on the number and arrangement of the cylinder. So the number of main journals and crank pin or oil hole is depends on the number of pistons. So 37C15 alloy steel may be used to manufacture this kind of crankshafts, and the method of manufacturing is casting. Next one is flywheel. So flywheel is a rotating mass used as an energy storage device. A flywheel is secured on the crankshaft. The main function of the flywheel is to rotate the shaft during preparatory stroke. It also makes crankshaft rotation more uniform. And the material may be cast iron and the manufacturing method is casting. Next one is crankcase. It supports and covers the cylinder and the crankshaft. It is used to store the lubricating oil. The main body of the engine to which the cylinder are attached and which contains the crankshaft and crankshaft bearing is called crankcase. It serves as the lubricating system too, and sometimes it is called oil sump. All the oils for lubrication is placed in it. So this is the crankcase. So these questions will be asked in 16 mark questions if it is splitted as a 4 mark. In some question papers it may be asked like 4 mark questions or 3 4 mark questions, 3 mark questions, like that. So it will be splitted and asked in a 13 mark question. So prepare well. Thank you.